to this edition of physics. In this episode, we are going to learn the difference between a quantity, a symbol, and a unit. You are going to know what those mean, when we use which ones, and why we use them. With that, let's get started. To begin with, a quantity is any measurable aspect of an object. It could be the length of the object, it could be the height of the object, it could be the mass of the object, or for an event, it could be the time of an event. The how much is the quantity. How far, how big, how long. Those are quantities designated by a number. Position is the location of an object relative to some reference point. A reference point is a fancy way of saying, where are you measuring from? Often we will measure from the 0, 0 on a Cartesian coordinate, but it could be anything. If I want to know the location of this blue marker, I have to say relative to where? To my computer, to my water bottle, to the screen behind me. Where am I measuring the location of this marker from? Let's take my reference point being my water bottle. I can take out my handy dandy meter stick, and we can see that in 1 meter, I can measure this either in terms of meters, or I can measure it in terms of centimeters. But we also know that 1,000 millimeters are in 1 meter. So this one device, this one measuring tool, can measure in meters or centimeters or millimeters. So I can set this down next to my water bottle. Let's say my water bottle is my reference point, and I see that the marker is 13 little lines away from my water bottle. 13 what? Oh, 13 centimeters. And when we think of position, we want to remember X marks the spot. X is our symbol. Whenever we want to represent position for anybody in the world, we're going to use an X. And it works for a pirate's treasure map. It may as well work for us here too. And how we're going to read this: symbols, quantities, and units. So the symbol is going to be X. X marks the spot. So my blue marker is 13 centimeters away from my reference point. Again, the reference point was my water bottle. But somebody else might say, well, I want to measure that in meters. Well, all right. Since there are 100 centimeters in every meter, that would be 0.13 meters. And the position of my marker could be thought of as either 13 centimeters away from my water bottle or 0.13 meters away from my water bottle. And those are telling me the exact same piece of information, just with two different units. What am I measuring? Symbol. How much of it do I have? 13 or 0.13, depending upon my unit in either centimeters or meters. Symbol, quantity, units. Next, I want to look at an event. Let's say that we have some coffee filters that we're going to draw. I'm going to start my stopwatch so that I can measure the duration of an event. Get the time. Ready, set, go. 2 seconds. It took 2 seconds for my coffee filters to fall onto the table. We need a symbol for time. What letter do we want to use to represent time? I don't know. How about T? Let's use lowercase t. So the symbol is T. The quantity was 2. 2 what? 2 seconds. Seconds are my unit. Symbol, quantity, units. But somebody else might say, well, I want to measure that in minutes. All right, well, 2 seconds would be 2/60ths of a minute, or 0.033 minutes. Both of these are telling me the exact same piece of information. They're telling me 2 seconds. They're telling me 0.033 minutes. It's the same thing. Lastly, we want to look at the mass. Mass is the amount of matter in an object. This is a 1 kilogram mass. It has a mass of 1 kilogram. There are 1,000 grams in every 1 kilogram, so I know that this is also 1,000 grams. What symbol do we want to use for mass? I'm going to choose lowercase m. 200, 10, hook them together, and I've made myself a 210 gram mass. But somebody else might say, I want to know what that is in kilograms. All right. Well, if there's 1,000 grams in every 1 kilogram, I have 0.21 kilograms of matter hanging from my finger. The symbol for mass is m. How much do I have, and what units am I measuring that in? Symbols, quantities, and units. What am I measuring? How much do I have? What are my units? Now, some people might get a little confused because we've already used m. Remember, it was back for those meters. The difference is, here, the letter is telling me my units. What am I measuring in? I'm measuring in meters. What's the quantity I'm measuring? Well, I'm measuring position. It's the location of an object this many meters away. Symbol is X. Symbol is M. The symbol is M. It's telling me I'm measuring a mass, and the mass is being measured in either grams or kilograms. Same letters are used in different places, meaning different things. Our job as a physicist is to make sure we know what we are all talking about. Symbols, quantities, and units. So there you have it. We've seen that a symbol is the letter that represents my quantity. The quantity is how much of the thing we have. The unit tells me what did I measure that quantity in. Did I measure it in centimeters or meters? Did I measure it in grams or kilograms? Did I measure it in seconds or minutes? Symbols, what are we measuring? Quantity, how much do we have? Units, what did we make our measurement in? That's all for this episode. We'll see you in the next one.